Well, howdy folks, welcome back to another Bad 66 Chevelle video here. Us with this old Biscayne again. And ain't gonna be too much longer before we get putting the steering column in this car. So I got just about everything for it. Just about. Waiting on one more thing. I was going over the list here on this car in a couple previous videos back. We got our license plate, a nice, sorry my dog's barking. We got a nice original license plate assembly here that works still. It does swivel, so it still opens. Got a good spring on it. I verified too this is the correct one for a 59. And the reason you can tell, see how this is shaped. When we look at our what's left of our original here, you can tell that it's still shaped like that. So we know that's definitely correct. I think they actually make this reproduction, but I didn't want to get it reproduction. Plus it has GM on it too. It says GM 3761898. Looks like the part number. But even got that rubber grommet on the bottom there, so that's good. It's pretty good shape. It bolts on right here. It's got two studs that go through here, there and there. So that'll bolt right on up. So that takes care of our license plate assembly there. I mean, theoretically, you could use one off of Chevelle. It didn't have to be specifically for a 59 Biscayne slash Impala slash Bel Air. But, you know, I want to be correct with it. We got our tail light on the way. I thought about it more. Let me get these branches out of the way. Here we go. Thought about it more. I was going to replace this whole thing because it's dented up. This bezel was dented up a little bit. But the more I thought about it, it ain't really worth it because if you look back in the previous videos, you know, this is all dinged up too. This trim on this trunk lid here. This is dinged up there, and it's dinged up over here a little bit. So, I mean, it's no point in worrying about all that. This is never going to be a show car, at least since I own it anyway. So I just bought the lens. I still can't figure out if they're reversible or not. I don't think they are. Like if you take this side and flip it over and use it on the driver's side, vice versa, I don't think they are because it has this little divot right there. I don't think it would be, but it's weird because this one says right hand on it, and the other one where it's actually busted out, there's no way to tell. But anyway, I had to figure it out. I did get a lens for it, so we'll have the lens on the way, and we've got our license plate bracket. So the only thing we're actually missing on the whole back of this car here is there is a light up under here. Let me turn the light in here. Let's see. There we go. All right, there is a light right there that's supposed to be in there. I've located one, so I still got to order that yet, but they're a little pricey. Because I found one on eBay. It's original is about 75, 80 bucks. So I'm gonna have to hold off on that. But that's the only thing we still need. We have the other side right here. Focus. There we go. So we have that side. We're just missing this side over here. And these are not reversible, so you can't. You know, if you found a driver's side one, you can't put it on the passenger side. You know, they're made specifically to fit those holes. I mean, you could take a license plate light if you really want it, and you could fill this in with, you know, cut that out with a piece of sheet metal and weld it in, and then drill a hole and put, you know, more like a circle kind of license plate light if you really want it to. I mean, you could overcome this. That'd be the cheaper way to doing it, but you know, I want to keep this car original, so anyway, we'll find one. So that's the only thing we got on the back of the car that's missing. Otherwise, everything else is complete. We even still have our original lock cylinder, which is stuck in the turn position. I'll have to spray that, and I'll pull them out, and I'll see if I can get somebody to key them, and see if we can get an original set of keys going on this car. But if not, you know, ain't a big deal. But anyway, thank goodness the trunk lid was open. But anyway, I just about got everything. I'm not sure if somebody had a trailer hitch on here. I don't think they did. I mean, it's nothing here. But if they ran wiring out that or not, I'm not sure what they had going on there. But anyway, once we get that light, the back of this car here, turn the light off here, focus, it will be complete. So that'll be good. So we'll have all that complete, and or deck lid, we're going to have to work on that a little bit. And if anybody tells you the 59 and 60 are basically the same exact car, they are indeed not. In no way, shape, or form. They look similar now, but they are in no way, shape, or form the exact same car. They're not. The front clip is obviously different as well as the tail lights, but if you really pay attention and look at it, the top of those fenders all the way back on the top of the doors and the tail fins are completely different, and the deck lids are different as well. They're more kind of more, instead of being up like at this angle, they're more a little bit flat, and actually this little body point right here where it's shaped like this actually extends into the deck lid, so it's actually a body line in the deck lid on a 60 as well, if you really look into it. So it's, you know, if it's a 59 car, it's got to be all 59 parts. If it's a 60 car, it's got to be all 60 parts. And so just about got everything for it. I'm going to find a set of original 14x6 wheels. I do have the original wheels that were on this car, but you know, they're so pitted up, I don't even think they would even hold air. And one of them is actually pretty much trash. It's no way. I mean, I guess you could maybe weld it up, but I don't know, because then I'd be worried about shaking and all that, because they are balanced. The actual wheels, they have a spot on them where they would drip. I think it was lead or something on them. And that's how they balanced them from the factory. But anyway, that wheel right there, that one is trash. This one right here is trash because the lip over there is done pretty much. And this guard is the guard that I found, that I have a previous video on as well. That is the guard that I found. And it does actually, it was 459, it was. I have verified that. And what I was doing wrong there is that does not bolt directly to the radiator support. You have the radiator that bolts to the radiator support, and then that bolts to the radiator. The radiator shrouds like that for a 348 are completely different. That's what threw me off a little bit, because my buddy, he's got a 59 Impala and two-door hardtop. It's got a 348 in it. And that's what threw me off, because when I looked under the hood, it was completely different. I was like, oh man, I was wrong. But no, they had two different fan guards. The one for the 348 is specific to the 348, and that one is specific to the 283, which is really, as far as I know, the only V8 that was available in 59 at that time. And then later on, the 327, I think it was 62, 61 or 62. Somewhere in that time period, the 327 came out. And I know at 68 there's a lot of changes. They did away with the accessory holes. They made the PCV and did away with the road draft tube, and plus they something else I can't remember. Anyway, they did quite a bit. But these bolt holes right here, these three right here, that's actually where the radiator would bolt on. You can see. So you have 1, 2, and 3, and then you have 3 on this side. I held it up, and nothing would line up on this side, but they do line up on the other side. But what I was doing wrong is, even though this radiator support is tweaked a little bit, we're going to find another one eventually. That's another story for another day. Is the radiator bolts to this, and then the guard goes on. So I was right. I just had it in the wrong order. So anyway, I don't know what I was thinking there, because common sense would tell you the way it bolts on. But anyway, so I got to find this whole nother radiator support. So that's going to be a little bit fun. The valve panel I'm going to try and salvage, because it's pretty straight. A little surface rust on it, so we'll try and salvage that. The bumper we're definitely going to save. And then, but we got to find the radiator support, and we're going to have to find this whole piece, the lower hood ballast panel, I guess you would call it. We're going to have to find all that. The reason it's tweaked like that is the gentleman, you know, his old parts car, you know, he didn't really care, but he took a chain to it and hooked to it, picked it up with the bucket on his loader there, and that's how he moved around on his property, and it got tweaked like that, which unfortunately, I can't tell for sure, but looking at it, I hope it didn't bend these fenders up. I don't think it did, because when I set the hood down, it looks okay. I think it just bent that. So it looks okay. It's the body lines, if you look down, it looks okay. It don't look like it, because the way it picked it up, it don't look like it would have twisted them. So I don't think it disturbed that. And the hood does line up. I got the other hood hinge off of it. The one that goes on that side, I've been trying to spray down with PB Blaster and get that freed up. And as long as the rivets ain't worn out too bad, we'll reuse that. I think the springs are buried in there somewhere under the seat. Well, actually on top of it. So we'll find those. And then we'll have to replace at least this one side. But we're working on that there. And shout out to After 5 Auto. After 5 Auto, I want to give you a huge thank you and a huge shout out there. Thank you for that gas pedal bracket there. We'll make another video on that here soon. So I really appreciate that. He sent me a gas pedal assembly. It's got the bracket that I need instead of the 6-cylinder here. This one is for a 6-cylinder actually. I need a V8 one. And because we're going to put, I don't know what I'm going to put in it, to be honest with you. We're going to put a V8, I know that. We'll put a small block in it for sure. I got quite a few motors I can choose from. I got a couple 283s. I got one roller 305 where you can still run a mechanical fuel pump. Now I'm probably going to end up throwing that in here just, for what I'm doing. I just want to get it running. I don't really care about, what motor's in it. But, and we are going to keep 3 on the tree. We're going to restore that, so I want to keep that on it. We're not going to do anything crazy like convert it to floor shift or anything, because I got everything there. Because I've looked all over the seat, and I got the whole column. I have all the linkages. We have part of the linkage down there as well. It's still attached to the frame. Plus, we still have our Z-bar and all that. So, everything is there. Actually, I might have to get a different Z-bar. I didn't think about that. Yeah, that's for a 6-cylinder, so yeah, I don't know. I might bolt up to a V8. I wish I had an old one of them. They make those rubber small blocks where you can actually bolt up and you can mock them up, see how everything fits. I wish I had something like that. I got a couple of small blocks I could sit in here. If I had the frame mounts, I'd do that to see how that would work. That's why it's good to save old junk block, even if it's cracked, because you could sit it in an old car like this and see how everything bolts up. Just pull the crank and everything out of it, and just use the block, throw a set of heads or something on it, throw a couple bolts in it, you can see how everything's lined up. But that was another reason too, you can tell it was a 6-cylinder. But it had a 235, and here's what it had originally. But we do have all the linkages here. So, yeah, there's the 2 hood springs. Good, we do have there. There's one spring there, and there's one right there. This is a good hood. No, that's not the good one. Okay, there's the good one. We got to get, I'm trying to work on getting freed up. This one is bent right there. Not sure why, but that could actually be repaired. You could grind these 2 rivets off. Grind that rivet off there and one there, and replace just that piece. Or you could actually straighten it out. I've seen Cold War motors, they do quite a bit of stuff like that. They brought that one car back, which is really cool. But I did mock up some of that a little bit, so I got our other bracket for our firewall there. Got that mocked up now, and so we got all our brackets. We have our lower steering column clamp there, so we have that, and this actually goes at the bottom of the column here. You stick your steering shaft, which I have right here. You stick that through there, and this bolts up right here at the bottom. So we have all that. We got our steering box as well, just a regular old Saginaw steering box. Have the rest of our dash brackets sitting up there in case we need them. Our steering wheel, that came in. So we're coming along now. Got the pedal assembly. Got it all sitting back up there like it's supposed to be. I got our bracket down there and our clamp to hold our lower steering column. So we're definitely getting there. We're getting somewhere. And I have this one as well. I found this one. So this one bolts up on the bottom here to hold the steering column. Oops. Don't drop it there. This one bolts up on the bottom there to hold that up. So we got all that. So we're coming along there slowly but surely. I even found the parking pad here. It goes on our emergency brake here. So we had all that too. I couldn't remember if this whole assembly for the parking brake was in here, but thank God it is. And it still works too, so that's good. So that's still good. It still moves. Our cables, of course, obviously had to be replaced, but it's still there. Oh, I didn't ever notice that. We still got our speaker covers too. Or not our speaker covers, they're our kick panel vents. So they're still intact too. Good. To actually still have that, that's good. I wish it wasn't messed up. I'd throw that thing back on there. That was buried underneath the back seat. I think somebody threw it back here. But we got our steering column here. And we got our steering shaft that goes up in there. So we have that. It says to come off a 63 biscayne, so hopefully it'll work. I'll have to get in here and open this up slightly. Because at first when I tried it, it scared me. Because I couldn't get it to go up in there. But the more I thought about it, I'll just open this up. Take something, just pry it open just slightly. And it'll sit on right on up in there because it's the same splines. So that'll take care of that. And it slides up to about right up in there. And then a rag joint is actually, yeah, I mean, it's usable for now. We do have a rag joint, so that's good. Got our 3-speed linkage there that's still there. Got our steering box. And that steering box actually has like hardly no play. I mean, it really don't. It's tight. They weren't kidding on that either. I figured, you know, everybody says it's tight and all, but shoot, that thing, I mean, you can hold one shaft on that thing and you cannot hardly move the other one at all. It's got like no slopping in it at all. I can't believe that. That's a really good steering box. I ain't even going to disturb it. I'm going to leave it right where it sits and leave it alone. And so I got our spindles here. I didn't feel like spending the money on just for these steering knuckles. I didn't want to spend all that money just to buy these steering knuckles that were missing, so I just bought the whole spindle. I bought both of these spindles for 120 bucks. And I got a little benefit here. This one's got the shoes and all the hardware on it. And it's got this little anchor pin. Plus our little push rods. I believe, yes it does, sure does. Got that one and it does have that one. So that is good. And we have this one too. I had to buy all that just to get these steering knuckles. Because originally they wanted $140 for the steering knuckles. When I just bought these whole spindles, you know, just got extra parts, backing plates, the spindles, everything for $120. And you don't know either, because depending on, you know, these might be worn, you know, pretty bad. They might have a, you know, a wear. They might have a groove worn in them or something like that. So, you know, it'll come in handy for that too. We might end up having to use one of them. Hopefully not, but, you know, you never know. So that'll help. And so we have all that. And we have backing plates, because the shoes, they do wear these pads on them. Got one pad there, 2, and then 3. And you got 1, 2, and 3 on each side. And then, let me take a, let's see. Which side is this on? This is the driver's side. So, yep. It's hard to see it, but yeah, they had the shoes on there right, because you have your primary and your secondary. The long one goes to the back of the car there. Shorter one goes to the front. So they had that right. Too bad this one didn't have all the hardware. Not that I would use these shoes, but they actually don't look that bad. But they're junk, unfortunately. This cracked. But these were the good ones. They're the rivet ones. Anyway. Yep, we got all that. I got the steering box, got all the steering column. I have the steering wheel. I went with a Impala style steering wheel. I was trying to find a Biscayne one. I'm going to try and find one. But I got the Impala steering wheel. The only thing that I can see that I'm really missing, honestly, is I got to find, it should be a spring under there and the nut that I'm missing. And this, I have this little piece. Oops. I had that little piece there. Darn it. Turn the seat. I'll get it in a second. But I got that little piece there. I'm not sure how that sits on there. But I'm missing the spring and the nut to hold that steering wheel on there. And that one's actually a pretty nice one. They said it was a reproduction, but I think it's actually original. It's somebody cleaned up and filled in all the cracks. But I like that style steering wheel. I like the trim it's got. Looks nice. But I don't have any of the horn ring or any of that. Not really worried about that. I'm just trying to get this car to steer. But So we got a complete column and everything now. We got just about everything. The only thing I'm waiting on now is the drag length. I'll upgrade it to 61 to 64 drag length. And I got to have that. That should come. I already ordered it, so I'm still waiting on that. And I got to get my steering box, bolts, and nuts. And they actually do have bolts and nuts. It does not thread into the steering box, so it's kind of odd the way it's set up, but that's the way it come from the factory. So that's kind of cool. And where was I going to put it out? These, there's a 3-speed linkage here. It's buried in here somewhere. And little things like this, when you look through it, this bracket right here actually went up right here to hold the dash on, because there's one on the other side over there. You can see it's right there. But anyway, I'm glad I found just little stuff like that. You want to be careful when you clean this car out, because little things like that you may need. And the 3-speed linkage, that's an extra gas blowout. But it does not have the bracket, unfortunately. But somewhere under here it is. Oh, that's the one for the clutch. So I even found this too. Look, here's on the clutch pedal. So we're missing that. That's where that went. Anyway, yep, here's one of them. Yep, here's the other one. So we do have the shifting rods for the 3-speed. They are here. So that is good. But thank goodness they're there. And I have even the little guard that went on the bottom here, under the steering column that went down there. So that's cool. So we have everything I need. Maybe the only thing I think I'm really missing that I can see is where you bolted up on the bottom to get your adjustment. I think the adjustment holding screws. I think I'm missing that, and we're missing the bushings that go on that linkage down there. There's 2 bushings that go up in there. Other than that, I don't think we're missing anything. I really don't. So that's good. Anyway, thank you After 5 Auto. Hope you're doing alright. I really appreciate that, because that's the bracket I need. And I really appreciate that. And I hope this car is growing on you. That's cool. But you take care, buddy. We'll make a video of us. Me and my car here. So we'll make a video of that. We'll put that thing on there. But anyway, you take care, buddy. And anybody else out there, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I hope y'all enjoy the videos, and there'll be more to come, because we're going to bring this Biscayne back from the dead.